Hello, I want to talk about the Siege of Krishnapur by J.G. Farrell. Um, I don't often read historical fiction, but then historical fiction isn't often written with such wit and bounce and tenderness, whilst at the same time saying something very profound about the choices we face now. Um, which is to say, rather, that this is as relevant now as it was when it was written, which was 40 years ago. Um, whether it was as relevant then as it is now, I'm not sure, but that's another question. This won the Booker Prize in 1973. A few years later, Farrell moved to Ireland, went fishing, and drowned, aged 44, I think, which suggests two things. We can either move to Ireland or we can go fishing, but we can't do both. Or at least I plan to live my life like that from now onwards, even though I am 6 years older than Mr. Farrell. He's clearly a great loss to literature, because this is quite simply wonderful. I've known about it because I've seen Booker winning lists for decades, and I have to say that when I see it amongst other certain Booker winners, I think I'm never going to read that. But then Sam Jorgensen in The Guardian wrote a piece on it where he says it's quite possibly the greatest novel ever written, which is some claim. And it's a claim that I'm going to endorse, with provisos, which are that there are novels I admire more because they are written in a style that I admire more, but there aren't novels that are better written than this. There are novels that are about things that I am more interested in, but no novel is more interesting about the thing it's writing about than this, if that makes sense. What's it about? Well, I'm not giving much away if I say it's about a siege of a town called Krishnapur, set in the 1860s. It's, in many ways, it's a sort of, it's a sort of very light, witty, boy's own story. There's something of Flashman in Harry Dunstable, which is one of the major characters, not the major character. There is a sort of, I don't know, yeah, I suppose it's the kind of wit of the language, where the language, I mean, J.G. Farrell is a writer that could never be made. The creative writing schools could never produce or create a J.G. Farrell. I mean, his command of and his understanding of rhythm and tone and bounce, I can call it, is just impeccable, and there is never a wrong note. But it's, in the end, it is about character, and it is about character under stress and a kind of English irony when we start to judge what we previously held dear or important against our more basic needs of survival and desperation. It's always funny, it is often profound. It comes before, I think, the sort of the writing that might be called kind of post-colonial or post-imperialist writing, or it comes before that as a sort of theory of criticism. And I suspect that if one was to use that rather agenda-tinted optic, it would not be critical enough of the context, of the actual historical context. But to read it like that is to not understand that some novels transcend agenda-tinted optics, and this is one of them. Because I don't think it says anything precise, or it's not about colonialism or imperialism. It's about something, you know, more profound, more long-lasting, which is, you know, there is a dialectic within us between civilization and ideas and improvement and modernity and faith and metaphysics and doubt. And that's the heart of the book, but you'd never know it because it is such an enjoyable read. I mean, I just couldn't wait to return to it every time I had to put it down for the pure reading pleasure of the prose and the story and the characters. And I cared so deeply about the characters. I just loved them. I just wanted them to endure and survive. I'm not going to say what happens, obviously, but it's quite something. It's quite something, and I couldn't recommend it more. And you know, you like me, you might think, you know, it's not the sort of mise en scène, the where it's set, how it's set, what, you know, all of those things just may not be for you, but it's just wonderful.